to Maurice Webb, to Nate Webb, to Darnell Webb, to Xavier, the namesake of my son Xavier, Donald Robeson's son. Xavier represents my grandmother, Ora Lillian Leggett, and his great-grandmother, Betty Red. My grandmother and my grandfather had an angel investment company called L&W Enterprises all over Trenton, New Jersey. My grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, my great-great-great-grandfather, they were builders and developers, the very first people in Trenton, New Jersey to have running toilets and running water inside. My grandma could tell you, my Aunt Betty Red and my grandma and them, they didn't even have, when they was coming up, they didn't even have a bathroom inside. Down the street, my grandpops, because his father was a developer in Trenton, New Jersey. So I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't know where y'all come from with this gotta work. Listen, man, with this, if you're an heir like I am, from generation, no, listen, my great-great-grandfather and my great-great-grandfathers before him in New Jersey was the only ones making sure that the neighborhood paved the way in development. Then over on the other side of town, my grandma Webb's children, John Webb and Butch Hackett, created a construction company that everybody in White City worked and got paid and got money with Uncle Butch and Uncle Bub. I don't know nobody that didn't get into the construction industry. You got individuals who skilled and can build anything right now in Trenton, New Jersey, because Uncle Bub and Uncle Butch was building on such a large scale. But that's 3 and 4 generations after the Leggett's on my pop side. Not taking nothing away from none of that. I'm just telling you what time it is. So for all of y'all families who don't know nothing but poverty, y'all might want to sit back and listen. Y'all might want to shut up and take notes. For all of y'all caught in a feudalistic system that the British Crown put, is called feudalism, where you tie peasants in a caste system. In a caste system, Walt Disney cast. You are a Walt Disney cast of actors. You're in a caste system. You the Oompa Loompas. You in the Oompa Loompa cast for the rest of your life. And then all y'all talk about is common sense. And then they keep sitting back in Buckingham Palace like, yo, go tax them Oompa Loompas. Go tax them 7 dwarfs. You a Walt Disney cast member. And you celebrate, you come down here and you go to their Walt Disney World, Alice in Wonderland, Walt Disney World, and then you win because we won't join you. Our grandpops and the grandmamas ain't never, ever, ever in the 30s, in the 20s, in the 19s, in the nothing. While everybody still got outhouses, our grandpops teaching everybody on the block how to get flushing water in the house. Like, come on, man. We ain't animals. You not an animal. This is what the Leggett's did in Trenton, New Jersey. So the reason y'all can't talk to us about nothing is because y'all ain't talking about nothing. They created y'all schools so y'all would waste y'all time for 12. These individuals in that generation, my grandmother did not go to school. My grandfather did not go to college, yo. And in one generation, he got his family up out of the projects. and transformed his 8 sisters' lives financially, their husbands, their children, in 1 generation. Y'all have made a educational school of clowns an idol. And they sitting back laughing at y'all like some Oompa Loompas. Taxing you here and taxing you that. This system of education never existed before until this new world. Never existed nowhere. So, this is in tribute to Dollar Bill's father. This is how you say thank you. You take what your father did and every round goes higher and higher. So the scale that Dollar Bill and Sean is supposed to be building on is supposed to be 4 times greater than what Uncle Butch and Uncle Bub built on. The scale that Maurice Webb is supposed to be building on. The scale that Teresa Presley is supposed to be building on. The scale that Stan and Bouvier and their children are supposed to be building on. It's supposed to be 4 times greater than what Rose and Bub gave to you. The level that me and mine is going to build on. Nobody has ever bet against me and won. Nobody. There is nobody on no level that has ever bet against me and won in any way, shape, or form. Because all of my family, everybody in my family was told by my mother and my grandfather and all of them, listen, we gonna put the investment pot here. We gonna go get all of the individuals that they attacking. But in Damon and Terry, we gonna put the investment pool here. I walked all around Brooklyn. I walked all around Trenton with my family's wealth in my socks and my shoes every day. With my grandpops, all of my grandpops' wealth, all of my grandmama's wealth from her wedding dowry. Every day I walked the streets. And Aunt Betty Red came over and said, yo, Damon, I'm going to get Sandra. And when Sandra get right, listen, I'm putting my wedding dowry with my sister's wedding dowry in you. Here, hold it for safekeeping. I got you, Auntie. Aunt Henrietta came through, said, yo, I'm going to get my babies. And all of my babies is coming up out the streets. And when they come out of the streets, I want you to give them my wedding dowry, their inheritance back. I got you, Auntie. Uncle Richard and Aunt Henrietta, like, yo, we going to get our babies. Uncle Junior and Aunt Mary, like, yo, we going to get our babies. You and Terry, you following your daddy down into, listen, listen, your ministry is to guard our family banks. Guard the first fruit blessing and the birthright blessing. And when we get our babies back out of these streets, when we get the alcohol out of all our babies, when we get the heroin out of all of our babies, when we get the drugs out of all of their system, I want you to give them back their inheritance like they ain't never ever been nowhere before. My baby is a royal right now today. That's all you need to know. Hold on to her royal crown. Hold on to his royal throne. I got you, Unc. I walk the streets every day with my whole family's inheritance. Both sides, all day, every day. Stick up kids where? Stick up kids who? Me and my sister, listen, every single family, every single one of my grandma's brothers and sisters, like, listen, your dad in the ministry, but you into investment banking. Your dad and mom is in the industry, is your dad think he ministering. This is the greatest ministry. The perfect man leaves an inheritance to his children and his grandchildren. Not near one of these individuals that you sitting up under in church have ever even created an inheritance. Every member of my grandmamas, my aunts and uncles and all of them came out of poverty and they had an inheritance to get to their babies while the system rigged the system of drugs and dependency, all of that against their babies, and they came and put their wealth with us. And now we giving it back to their babies. And can't nobody do nothing but sit back and watch. And all of y'all that done bet against us, all of y'all that done bet against me, the joke is on you. It's called Coming to America. My family sat back and said, yo, Eddie Murphy think he funny. Eddie Murphy think he funny, mocking the USA, talk about he from Zamunda. Nick, it ain't nothing in Africa. The joke's on you, Eddie. The joke's on all of y'all clowns. We ran Zamunda back against Eddie Murphy. We've been running around here acting like we dumb and acting like we impoverished like y'all. Acting like the USA ain't the heavenly kingdom. We've been running around here. We done ran Coming to Arimathea. The USA is called Arimathea. When Joseph came to receive his son after he died on the cross, it said Joseph of Arimathea. That's what they call Mary. That's what they call Joseph. That's what they called the Messiah, the King of Kings. When he traveled the world for 30 years before he came back, they called him the King of Arimathea. Huh. Joseph of Arimathea came to get the King of Arimathea. Mary, the Queen of Arimathea. USA is Arimathea. Y'all got to get out of Arimathea. This is a Brexodus. All y'all Americans, all of y'all citizens, yo, you got 1 week, you got 7 days. You got 7 days. Eddie Murphy, Mr. Funny Man. Eddie Murphy raw. I'm going to show you the rawest. Mr. Funny Man, Eddie Murphy. Living a double life the whole time. Up there on 42nd Street. Eddie Murphy, Mr. Funny Man. While in Eddie Murphy raw, you making mockery of our women of color. Listen, these Hollywood clowns, they are the ones who scarred my grandmother, Aura Lillian Leggett, with colorism. While y'all talk about y'all love Aura. Eddie Murphy and Spike Lee with all of their pictures making mockery of the darkest queens of color. And our queens ain't never been black. The darkest color associated with heaven and wealth is the onyx gemstone on the breastplate. Onyx. Those fools are black fools, black devils, the black plague. Black is what you should call y'all. Black is your name. Black Negroes, that's who you are. Who we are the gemstones found in the gates, found in the foundation of the kingdom. Onyx. Onyx skin tone. But because y'all taught our grandmothers and them to identify with black people, so then when they made their jokes, when they made their derogatory statements, and then they chased light-skinned, fair-skinned women, it was our grandmothers who were scarred by the colorism of your so-called comedians that you love. What Spike Lee did in School Days to women of color, in our circles, he a walking dead man. It's only a matter of time. In our circles, the husbandmen, the sons of God. And y'all problem is y'all identify with these fallen devils, these fallen black devils, while talking about y'all smart, talking about y'all got sense. Every brothel that they have created, y'all worship it and then send y'all children into it. Your schools is brothels. Your churches is brothels. The businesses that you work in is brothels. Every single institution that is a corporation is a brothel. That's why the word says Mystery Babylon, the mother of harlots. And y'all read the word and read the word and read the word, and God is talking directly to y'all. So, I'm going to salute Maurice Webb, and Darnell and Nate Webb, by honoring your father and your mothers for the investment that they made in us. There's only one way to honor them. Paul said, I have built a strong foundation, and now someone else is building on it. There's only one way to honor your father and your mother, that thy days may be long upon the land, is to take the foundation that they laid and build on it greater. Now you tell me how. Going to school, getting an education, and getting a job. You show me one family that has done that successfully. And I show you both sides of our families. Multiple aunts and uncles. Both. I got 5 different branches who have never, ever been connected to jobs, to none of that. All of them invested in family businesses and handed the wealth down to us through the skills and all of these other people coming from places and coming from families that have never, ever been free, ever. Our great-great-grandpop, John O. Wilson, his name is over everywhere in the city. The streets, everything, every institution. Wilson, 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 Wilson. And you got people coming in and out of our city, coming in and out of our family reunions. Ain't never been free. Ain't never known nothing but the same story that these black people tell y'all every month. Y'all ain't never seen freedom. And we try and give y'all a legacy. And y'all swear y'all smart. All right, let's bet. We opening up to the world. We opening up to the world. In my high school, in my college, I did the same thing. I told them what was going to happen. And then we sat back for 30 years and watched them go out and chase education. We told our graduating class in 1993 the last events that was going to happen. Why? Because they sitting right there in the book. Daniel and Revelation tell you exactly how that story is going to end. 2 books. Daniel and Revelation. It's only 12 books in Daniel. And it's like 22 books in... We talk about 34 chapters. That's it. To tell you what was going to happen from 600 years before the Son of God was born, through our time, and through a 1,000-year wedding feast in heaven, back to a judgment day on earth. It's all in there. All our senior year, we told them exactly what was going to happen. Why? Because we got a series of books where it breaks down what's going to happen. But we don't need the books. We do not need no other books. Daniel and Revelation, that's it. Me and my man almost got kicked out of the school our sophomore year. We got expelled, and Dean Green fought for us. And when Craig and I came back to the school, Craig said, I'm going into the ministry. He took it as a warning sign because the whole time he was home, his mom was like, man, listen, man, I done sacrificed my whole life. I done gave up everything. I done left Trinidad and Tobago. I don't care nothing about no job. I don't care nothing about none of that. Listen, I came here. I get money in Brooklyn. I got real estate in Brooklyn. I got real estate in Trinidad and Tobago. Listen, I could care less about Trinidad and Tobago. I could care less about Brooklyn. I could care less about the money I get. The one thing I wanted you to do was go into that institution, find you a bride, start you a family, get me some grandbabies, and then put them in the kingdom. And then you get kicked out of the one school I done sacrificed for? Dean Green ain't know that was going on in his house or what was going on in my house. Dean Green fought for us. We come back up to the school. My man declares to me first, yo, I'm going into the ministry. I tell my man Craig, I said, I'm not going into no ministry, homie. But I'ma serve with you. Wherever you serve, I'ma serve. I had already seen the rats in the Seventh-day Adventist church, the rats in the Baptist church, the rats in every church. The Most High had already revealed to me at the age of 2, seeing how they destroyed my mama. Listen, from my father chasing a ordination. And I told my man, and as a 10th grader, I'm not being associated with no church, homie. But I will serve with you because I know the spirit that is in you don't got nothing to do with these churches. The same spirit that's in your mama, the same spirit is in my mama. I'm serving that Holy Spirit, homie. And we began telling in skits and plays, in every worship service, in everything. From that day to this, Alien Nation was born. We live in this world. We not of this world. This world is not our home. My man has not dropped the ball, and I have not dropped the ball either. Now you got to choose your side. We told our class in 93, 30 years ago in 1995, we dropped the album, Raging War. This is the 30-year anniversary of Raging War. This is the 30-year anniversary of Illmatic. Nas, Illmatic. Nas drops Illmatic. We drop Raging War. Walt Disney drops The Lion King. 1994, 1995, the same year. In 1991, we told the world for the high school level what we was going to do. And then 1994, 1995, we kept our word and dropped Raging War. We told them that the world got to choose their side. Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. You got to choose your side. Heaven or hell. You got to choose your side. Choose ye this day whom you will serve. 30 years later, the anniversary to Alien Nation. Craig Morgan mama died that summer. And my mom funded the album herself. My mom brought us up to Trenton, New Jersey, sent us to Rick Mahorn's, got my cousin Dollar Bill to be our road manager, got my cousin, grandchild of Reverend Hunter, the pastor over our family church. Me and Little Mathel was the drummers. We was the drummers for my mom's choir. Mathel Hunter and myself, we've been in production, preparing for this day all our life. And when I dropped the album, my mom called her godsons, Dollar Bill Hackett, managed this road team. And the show production, the producer, Uncle Billy Hunter, and Dwight rounded out our band. My cousin Shannon on the saxophone. Listen, 30 years ago, my mom started this process. My Uncle Bob invested in it. Stan and Treat invested in it. This is the 30-year anniversary. I'm here to honor, and I'm here to double down 4 times as much as what was invested. Sharon Willis, mama, when she heard the album, and when she heard her girl, my mom, Beverly, had invested, Sharon Willis, mama, did the same thing in Detroit. This is the same Willis family that gave y'all E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher. Yes. Yes, E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher's ministry and RPG of Alien Nation, our ministry is funded by the same family. The same family that said they will open up the doors for E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher to get into school if he got his GED. Listen, because my mom and them was in school together. So when they heard the album and when they heard us talking in the language of their daughters, see, they got 3 beautiful daughters, and they know what we were saying on the album was, we gonna get your babies to the kingdom. Matter of fact, we the husbandmen. We the husbandmen that's going to lift up your daughter. Listen, they said, yo, the only people that could come around my daughters and come into the neighborhood because Detroit, them cats is talking about Motown. Y'all still was on Motown. Y'all still stuck in the disco era. Motown is Molech. The worst God that has ever been rebuked by God ever is what your city was built on. And then they tried to bring that garbage to Philadelphia. Motown, Philly, Boston, them clowns, New Edition, tried to bring that garbage from Boston into Philly, Motown, Philly. You crazy? Philly is the bride of Trenton, fool. Philadelphia is the bride of Trenton, New Jersey. Trenton makes the world takes a trip to the corner. We the husbandman. We the bridge over troubled waters to every bride. It's a homecoming right now, yo. Yo, to all of my aunts and uncles that made sacrifices, yo, I'm here to tell you, 4 times greater than the investment that you made in us. We've been acting all of this time like we matched that poverty. You know why? Because when we come up out of the gutter, we stayed in the gutter, acting like we belong there, so that everybody who's in the gutter, when we get up out the gutter, they gonna come with us. Y'all was in the gutter because that's all your family know. That's all your family identify with. Our grandmamas and all of them been left the gutters. Our grandmamas and all of them went throughout the city blessing all of the crack mamas and the crack babies. Our grandmamas and them put in transitional houses and invested in, listen, our grandmas and them been investing in houses and been investing in transitional housing, and y'all talk about go to school, get an education. Y'all better sit back and take notes. Y'all better stand still and be quiet like Moses told the people. You always running y'all mouth and you ain't never been nothing but a slave. Shut your mouth. The order has already gone out to go and free y'all. Shut your mouth.